So we are having here today a chance of sharing the view of investors, especially venture capital investors, on innovation on insurance. That's a great point. Why? Helen Bia, thank you very much. All my gratitude for you being able to be here with us, sharing this space. Sorry about my English, because I just learned to speak English on the beach, surfing 1982 in St. Del Mar. But working in the insurance industry, I got closer to the people from the London market in the city. I have been there a few times, uh, improving my skills. And today I have a mix of all accents. And I tell them I'm from Bahia in Brazil, so I got a Baiano accent. If you don't understand, please ask me to repeat because my wife have been with me for the last 20 years and she's keeping saying, hey, love, please repeat. So that's my reality. And what we'd like to our audience to understand is that Brazil is a country with over 200 million people. We have a very, very, very well developed insurance market. I have been traveling around Europe, US, and all Latin America. I haven't go to for insurance on for Asia, and I didn't have been in Israel, but all around the world, I think we have a very strong market, very well structured, very good companies here, a lot of innovation happening, and a lot of very nice projects, a very startups, material ones. But you know that capital is the blood of innovation. Without investors, we would not never have innovation as a field that we could really get transformation of a so beautiful industry because insurance is protection, it's taking care, and we can always be able to improve it. The last 4,000 years is a proof of it. So I have been official. Have been official partners of ITC for the last 3 years, and we used to have physically a pre-conference room in Vegas where we usually invite some people who want to understand better Brazil and show up your face and get better known. Last year we had Bill Powers from Cambridge Mobile Telematics. It's a telemetric company who raised $500 million from SoftBank. We had Jonathan Kalman from EOS. I don't know if you know him. Jonathan Kalman have a very interesting fund who get money from insurance companies and reinsurance companies, invest on innovation only on insurance, really specialized. And we had Caribou, who's going to be with us after we finish here. And right now, we're going to start our talk with the question. First of all, I would like you, Bia, to present yourself so people know more about you.
Sure. And thank you so much for having us and everybody for being here today. So I'm investing with Vine Capital. Vine is an early stage VC based in New York City, but our focus is on companies in the early stages, so pre-seed to Series A in the US, Latin America, and Israel. We've been very active in the financial services and insurance space. We're, early, our team backed early on companies like Hippo in the homeowners insurance in the US, or Uncork, which uses no-code software development targeting carriers, or HDDI, which uses telematics to underwrite fleets of trucks. So similar to a Metromile business, but for commercial auto. So we're very deep in the insurance space, have been fortunate to work with folks from the industry here in the US, such as Ellen and her team at Broker Tech Ventures. And that's been fundamental in making great decisions when we invest, which is basically partnering with the local experts in the operational side and combining our sort of financial and investor expertise with the actual, knowledge of insurance that working with operators brings. And hopefully, Gustavo, and with the sort of InsurTech, ITC Brazil cohort or group of people, we can, build that and continue to, back great entrepreneurs and hopefully back some great InsurTech entrepreneurs here in LATAM and particularly in Brazil.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Ellen, would you please?
Sure. I'm Ellen Willardson. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for Holmes Murphy out of Iowa. We have been involved with and helped lead BrokerTech Ventures over the past year with my partners, Susan Hatton and Dan Keogh, as well as our other broker partners. And we've been diving deep into new insurance technologies over the past year, so that's been exciting for us. So just excited to share more about that venture with you today.
That's amazing. And I would like to explain for our audience how we got in touch. These really brave ladies accepted, and 48 hours ago, an invitation to be here with us. But we had all set up. And when I met Helen to Susan, who will speak in our conference, CQ-SES Innovation Latam on Thursday, which I would love to see you there, be here with us, to know a little more about what CQ-SES have been improving in the innovation field. And I met Helen, and the other day I received an email from Susan introducing me to Bea. I said, oh, it would be amazing if you could bring this kind of expertise and this kind of information would prepare a field for this post company are taking a look to Brazil. And we are very honored to be here to give you, open all the doors available. And one thing is very important. And Holmes Murphy is a brokerage company.
Yes.
So the brokerage company investing on the insurance industry. That's beautiful. That's amazing. We have been here in Brazil seeing so very nice things, and really because Brazil it's a kind of interesting country. We have a lot of trouble with the politics, but our private sector is really well structured. So things really go for it here. So we usually joke we run the country, and we have been doing a very good job. Also, innovation is very relevant for our industry. So IA projects doing very well, IoT ones, big data. And if you realize that the last editions of ITC, 2018, 2019, we were the biggest foreign delegation. In the world tour of ITC, we have the biggest audience on the Brazilian stop. And today, all this content, what are we going to do? We're going to put that available on our YouTube channel. CQ-SES got a YouTube channel with more than 1 million views, and in Portuguese and in English. So we're going to allow people from all around the world to know what we're doing here, and also allow the people from Brazil to understand 100% what we are doing here, even if the audience here, independent of the number of audience. And I will start with Ellen right now. Ellen, please, what are the most relevant points that you look in an early seed, early moment startup project?
Okay.
Or company?
So I'll first start by sharing a little bit about BrokerTech Ventures. We have a number of towers now, but really the start of it was the accelerator tower. So we have an accelerator that's based out of Waukee, where we select 10 to 13 startups a year to go through that and to find technologies that are really specific to the insurance broker industry. We look for anything that will help us make our insurance clients better, us better, or our insurance carriers better. So really filling in that whole distribution chain. And then we hope to provide those startups with insights into what the industry is looking for and to help guide them to make them all that they can be. That then pivots to an early capital stage where we would be looking at not only startups that went through the accelerator, but other technologies that we see. And are we able to help those technologies financially or through the same type of guidance that I've just described in helping them understand what the industry is looking for to make them all that they can be? And if Broker Tech Ventures isn't the appropriate financing solution, we work to find other capital partners that might help propel them forward and make that solution all that it can be.
Amazing. That's very nice. And Bia, when you look for a project, especially in the insurance field, and where do you think the technology right now is having more of your attention?
Yeah. So when we think about innovation in insurance, we think about it in sort of two angles. No? One is in the underwriting, and the other one is in the distribution. So in the underwriting, what we've been looking at is either different ways in which you can assess risk through, for example, novel data inputs, for example, in that sense, using telematics, right? Using a tracker IoT to understand the behavior of a driver and be able to qualify risk in that way. Or if we think about underwriting as well, how to look at a more disaggregated version of risk. So instead of looking at, pools of or looking at, employees, for example, in workers' compensation insurance, instead of looking at pools of employees with a certain age or, gender, looking at them on a more detailed basis, and then rolling up individual risks into a global risk. So that's how innovation we've seen in the underwriting side. And then on the distribution side, which is a big part of what we've been doing with Broker Tech Ventures, it's how can there be innovation? How can you get to that? It allows you to get to the end customer, be it on the personal side or on the commercial side, in a quicker, easier, more affordable way. How can brokers, intermediaries, be it through brokerage channel or bank assurance, be better serve their end customer? And we've been looking at companies that either help the broker by providing tools that allow them to streamline the back end, the administrative processes, and therefore spend more time with their customers, as well as tools that will allow the actual process of the data to be able to acquire, target, prospect, renew customers in a better way. That's a kind of, so, we see it in those two angles.
One thing that's very unique in insurance, I usually say that we are the good friends of the bad times. So we're available when people really need us, And I'm a broker. I don't sell insurance lately, but I'm still a broker. I have the broker feeling, the broker attitude. I like to care and to protect. And one thing I think that innovation have been helping much is the user experience. And I think when you have in Brazil, you have two movements which are really clear. Because when you have the tough time, you need insurance to work well. We had in our last edition of Success Innovation Latam, our Insurtech of the month was a company named Cilia. And Cilia is a company which uses AI to make the process of claim in automobile really quick. The guy crashed the car, when the truck stops, take 4 pictures. In 5 minutes, you have how much it will cost, whereas which auto repair place is close to him, the auto parts provider, how long gonna take to do the parts to get in the repair place, and also when it's a total claim, we don't wait days and days and days for the auto claim. When I was on ITC last year, I'm not sure, but I think his name is Shapiro, is the CEO of our state. He said he was really ashamed of, he knew he had technology to finish a claims process of automobile in 2 hours, but because he doesn't really believe in the technology, he's still keeping 2 or 3 days to do the same work. Helen, tell me, you think the COVID situation helped these technologies to make this change happen, and people being obligated to believe in technology?
I do think that COVID has accelerated many things forward. So just the ability, as you've described, to accept things from that technology is generating versus the old way of physically validating. So the pictures and things like of the car accident as an example is a good example of that. We see things even as simple as electronic signatures, where not all types of entities would accept those in the past, that's becoming, even with banks, a thing that's no longer requiring physical signatures. But Gustavo, and another thing, as we entered into COVID, one of the things that I was concerned with was that the economic situation as a result of COVID would actually slow down technology and slow down the desire to invest in startups. And I think that what we've really seen is the exact opposite. People having a higher appetite for the unknown and things that can propel our industry forward faster than it ever has. So I was happy to see that we interviewed our own BrokerTech Ventures members right when COVID hit and asked, do you want to slow down or do you want to accelerate? And the answer was overwhelmingly that they wanted to accelerate and go faster and invest more in that type of environment.
Wow, that's what I call really good news.
Yes.
I need to share with you, we are having an amazing moment of increasing our income, and CQCS is a platform growing a lot during COVID, and we have been investing a lot during COVID. We had our first lunch after the pandemic on Friday, and I had 2 new employees that I never met them personally. They have been working for 4 months, 2 months, the other one with us, and I just met them personally on Friday. That's very good, and I'm also investing a lot in technology, especially on events also. So it's a very good news, but it's I really got really excited being in this industry, because we really are a industry with keeping rebuilding and recreating our operation, and always looking forward to offer more for the client. Bia, if you should give an advice for entrepreneur or early stage company, what advice you give them during this different, strange moment of pandemic that we have been living for the last months?
So that's a great question. And specifically for the pandemic, I feel that it's opened both challenges but also opportunities. One opportunity is that it has actually broadened the pool of talent that you have access to thanks to remote work, and not underestimating the fact that you can, get great people who can work for your company, you can get for maybe cheaper or that you can get that previously you get access to who you previously couldn't because they wouldn't move to wherever you are, is an opportunity. So definitely, you know, as an early entrepreneur, getting the best team around you is key. And I believe that now, thanks to COVID, you should, you know, shoot for the stars and actually try and get, you know, those people that in other times you wouldn't have dreamt of. And if I can add another thing is that right now during COVID, what has happened is, you know, people have, in general, at least investors have realized that, you know, this is the new way that we get to know people, get to know entrepreneurs. So don't be shy. And I think entrepreneurs should reach out to investors actively, because a lot more doors are now open through just a video call, you know, a quick like 15-minute like intro, than previously would have been. Normally, you know, in before COVID, we would have been stuck to say in like 30, 40, 1 hour meetings in person. Whereas now it's very easy for someone to kind of jump on a, you know, 50-minute call with someone in Brazil, and then the next moment be speaking to someone in New York and then in Des Moines. So I think the advice there is like really think outside you know, your reach has just increased so much thanks to COVID, and really think outside of your traditional frontiers, right? And make the best of that.
Yeah, and remember everybody in the audience, we are at ITC remotely, but still ITC. The right place to meet people. We go to the
Absolutely.
network. Don't lose this opportunity. Everyone who is here are looking for improve their business, their operations, and a lot of investors around. We got two amazing investors here with us. Helen, could you complement anything that about what Bia said?
I think
Any
what
advice?
I think what Bia said is absolutely correct. I mean, we are not only looking at opportunities within the United States, but globally now, and that was accelerated through COVID. Additionally, I think that the risks that are out there and the things that people are looking at to mitigate risk has greatly expanded. So that leads to her comments about just thinking outside of the box. We're seeing a lot of unusual things, and keeping in mind, we're not only interested in what helps us through the distribution model, but also helps us protect from any risk that our insureds might have. And that can be very, very wide. As an example, as a result of COVID, you know, we've heard of certain technologies that can come in and instantly disinfect locations. So that would be something we would not have thought of 6 months ago, but it's very important right now. So just like she said, just keeping a very wide open mind to anything that might be out there that could also help our insureds and help mitigate risks wherever they may come from.
Yeah, well, I know I'm like I make the interviews, but I also give my own answers, you know, because I'd like to share the experience. That's Gustavo Doria. Everybody from Brazil knows that I do it this way. Sorry about that. But I would like to, what I say for my friends today, hunt, baby, go hunt. You are, don't stay crying. What happened? You know, let's take seriously that people are sick. Companies are having a bad time in some fields. Insurance, it isn't one of these fields. Today we have a great opportunity because the society have a more aware about risk in its most basic point. You know, we are a society that the client now is available for remote relationships, so you can visit much more clients, and they're really focused on you and opportunities. You know that I created a company during COVID, and this company is doing very well. I made a joint venture named Secure-CS Events for digital events, and to tell you the truth, we don't have arms for all the opportunities that are coming from Secure-CS events. So what I did, COVID arrived, we have a physical conference for 2,000 people, and we could not do that. And I found a way. That one of our events is the one that Susan is going to be with us on Thursday. So I paid attention. I found someone who worked with events, have nothing to do. I said, what the talent be saying. Eh? At that moment, that lady, her name is Larissa. She do great. She's very good on events. And Larissa, come on, events are events. Digital or presential are events. We need to find a way to put your knowledge to work on the digital. Let's make it happen. It's doing great. So I really think you two are really helping our entrepreneurs to look for a brighter future with more opportunities to them. And uh, we have only less 10 minutes, and I'd like you to send a message for Brazil as an investor. How you see a Latin American country with 220 million population, with a very strong insurance industry. What a message Brooker Tech Ventures and Holmes Murphy would give to us?
Well, that's a very well thought out question. I'd like to collect my thoughts for a second, but first of all, just thank you very much for the invitation to be here today. And I think, we appreciate you reaching out very much. So collaborating and coming up with the best ideas throughout the world to help our insureds is very important to us. So I think that, anything that we can do to support entrepreneurs and to help to support the Brazil community, that's what we're interested in. So does that help answer your question?
100%. That's what we're gonna hear from you. We want you closer and closer to us. I'm already in touch with Susan to connect with, if I'm not wrong, Priscilla from Harmonia Seguros. So we are looking forward to get closer and take a special look to Brazil and its opportunities. Thank you very much, Helen. Bia, could you send a message for our Brazilian people who is watching us?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for having us. And I'd just love to really, at least from Vine's perspective, Brazil is an incredible market full of opportunity with a sophisticated and well-developed insurance ecosystem. And I would love to, be an accelerator to as a fund, as an investor, would love to back entrepreneurs building solutions to further accelerate the adoption of insurance in the Brazilian and Latin American ecosystem. So I welcome, anyone in this conference or in Gustavo or in the attendees networks to reach out, because we love talking about insurance and insurtech and, helping think through problems and find solutions to problems, leveraging technology. So that's a kind of like an open call to just, we're here and we love to be involved and helpful, and excited that we could be part of this, a small part of this at least. Thank you, Gustavo, for having us.
There's no small parts when we are building something can come so big, We are talking about providing better protection for society, so people can feel better, who use their time, expend their time, or invest their time of having a better life. I'd like you two to know that CQCS have been around in the last 19 years. For an internet company, that's a lot of time. We had a meeting with Ellen and said, I'm an internet dinosaur in the insurance industry, because I saw a lot of transformations in our business, the way we communicate, we protect, we serve the society. And I'm being official partner of ITC for the last 3 years, almost 4 now. And that's really helped us to have a global view of what comes in innovation. And we really realize the power of the investor, which comes with the money and knowledge. What we are looking for here is for improving the industry and bringing people who want to invest on our great companies, great people but all only the money and the views and the knowledge and the start helping in the strategies, so we can, always us are better than me. Uh, us are more eyes, more arms, more hands. So this event today is a proof, and you two really helped us pretty much uh, in providing these minutes of rotation. I know Bia is going to Colombia. Uh, Helen
Yeah,
opened this space in her agenda, and I feel really grateful, blessed. Thank you very much, you two.
pleasure's ours. Thank you, Gustavo.
Thank you very
Thanks to
much.
all.
My pleasure.